those are the places I am saying no. I am no longer going to allow my body to represent me in places I've not been. Hi guys, welcome back. This is Lokaremi. Quite excited to have you back. But before I even get too far into this video, I'd like to just put a disclaimer out there. My voice is sort of in the gutters right now, but I'll trust that you are going to hear me and get what I'm saying, as you trust that I'm actually very well. So it's not that I'm sick or anything like that. It's just one of those situations where I have overused my voice, and it's not uncommon for me. If you know me in person, you probably know this by now. So yeah, I will try to project my voice as much as I can, because all the way I was just thinking about this one conversation. It's something I've been thinking about throughout the weekend, based off of something that an incredible person said. And I actually just arrived a while back, and I decided I'm not going to sit on this conversation any longer. I hope you will enjoy the video. I know I'm actually going to just toot my horn and just be like, I know you'll enjoy my videos. At least let me just hype myself up and all. But thank you for the kind feedback that I get in person, and for everyone that is sort of invested in this whole conversation that happens in my mind. Now, moving on swiftly. So on this new episode of being seen by God and feeling seen and all that, the big question today is, what have you guys been up to? I mean, like, quite literally, but then not also quite literally. Do you feel like you are on the right track based off the plans you had for the year? Are you frustrated a bit? Are you behind schedule, or are you even ahead of schedule? So how have you guys been holding up? What are you guys up to? Now, that's on just the literal and obvious, let me check in on you level. But then more to it, I have something to share now. Someone said something, he was preaching, and it was a whole sermon, but part of the sermon just took me back into reading the creation story, and I was reading it back and forth. And when you read the creation story, you find that God literally talks about creating twice. So anyone that did CRE in like school, you realize that we used to call it first creation story and the second creation story. And actually, as I was reading the Bible, it was so cliche to me. I'm like, oh, I know the first creation story, then I know the second, so blah 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 blah. And then I was like, but wait a minute, why did we call it the first creation story and the second creation story? So did God like have two separate creation moments that we are yet to converse now? Do I have all the answers about it? No. Am I looking to be those ones for controversial things? Absolutely no. I'm okay with being on the gray with some of the things of God. So if you're not okay, you go ask God. As for me and my house, I'm good. Because I've decided not to go down that path, I will tell you the conversation that was coming up in my head. Once I read the creation story, the first one, obviously, I was just like, okay, this is obvious. But then on that last day, not like the seventh, like the sixth day, the Bible says that God created man. And I'm like, okay, that's amazing, good stuff, good stuff. And then the last day he was like, you know what, I'm done, everything's good, let me rest. But then on the second creation account that's recorded in the Bible, there's a conversation that God has with himself, that is now God the Father, the Son, like, let us create man according to our own image, and he created man according to his own image. Like, they gathered and decided, you know what, let's do this. But then later you read and you realize that God created Adam from the ground, as in from mud. He picked things up from the mud, and then he breathed his spirit upon the guy. And I was like, well, God, I feel like you're confusing me. I don't think it's intentional on your part, but on my part, I'm literally very confused. So break it down to me like a little child, because I'm literally that. And that's when God was like, yes, like the creation happened like twice. I created joy the spirit. I'm just going to use myself for this example. So I created joy the spirit, then I created joy the body. So I'm going somewhere with this, bear with me. As in the first time I was like, I'm creating you according to my image, all that. Like it was literally your spirit creating you. We can fellowship because you are spirit, you're a spirit man, so you look like me, you can function like me, we can talk, we can fellowship, it's all good. But then this is earth, and spirits are just awkward on earth. They don't have like legal grounds to be anything on earth. So because that is not something I'm willing y'all to have, I'm creating earth for y'all to take dominion and actually do things. There's just no way I'll leave you at, spirit. So I have to figure out a way where you can actually be functional in the place I'm leaving you. And that's when God decided, let me now create man from like mud from the ground, and all that. And I was just like, okay, fine. I understand that we are spirits, but and we are also bodies. And God was like, no, you are not a spirit and then also a body. No, you are literally a spirit in a body. As in, it's like water in a container. That's literally what's going on. I created you according to my own image, spirit and all. Then I put you in a body that can be functional here on earth. So you are not a spirit and body, you are spirit in a body. And because of your body, it makes sense that you are on earth. And right there, God was like, that's why I really don't get why you all get too caught up on, oh, I don't like my body, I don't like how my eyes are, I have big eyes or small eyes, I don't know, whatever insecurities we all have, because everyone has an insecurity of theirs. And God is like, I don't understand why everyone has an insecurity about their body while they are not the body. You, Joy, are not the body. You are Joy spirit in a body. So it could literally be any body. It could actually be a can, a container, but you're in it. So it really should not be too concerned about the container. Well, there's the concern for let me take care of the container and all, but really the essence of that container is not the container itself, but rather the contents of the container. And so that was just one of the ways God was like, I really don't understand all these insecurities everyone has. Oh God, I wish my waist was a bit snatcher than it is. I wish I was taller, wish I was darker or lighter. I don't know. I wish I had a beard, because apparently right now we are just beard gang. But then it's not too long ago that we were all light skinned. And then in just a moment we are just going to be wanting Korean like men with a smooth face and very tiny eyes. So these standards, they keep changing time and time again, and God is like, that's why you cannot be too concerned and too attached to the body, because the essence is the spirit. Now now that I've laid down all that foundation and whatever was going on in my head, this is where now I'm going with this. So apparently, when you do enter into this body, like, you have to relearn your ways. You see, like, when a child is born, they're probably the quiet kid or the bubbly kid. They already have that personality, but now they have to learn to walk in this new body and to operate in this new body under new circumstances and all that. And that is what it looks like even for us. When you do enter a body, your spirit self is already like active. You're good. You know what to do. You had conversations with God. You are going to come on earth, you're going to be this amazing musician, or you're probably going to be an incredible artist. I don't know, whatever you all agreed with God, and God sent you here. But then you get into this body and you have to relearn things, because apparently you are born as a child, and then you are born to this family that is probably awkward and it's loud, or maybe it's too silent, or they have their traumas. And so you have to now start relearning the things that you knew initially. I had an amazing quote: everyone knows to draw, they just grow up and forget that creative side of theirs. And I feel like it's the same concept with this whole spirit body thing. Like, you know how to draw as the spirit man, but then you come into this body and you're like, wait, how am I supposed to function again? So I have to relearn my whole thing. I have to relearn language and figure out people around me and all that. And it can take a while for you to actually familiarize yourself with yourself. which again I think I talked about when I was talking about It's Nice to Meet Me. Like, it takes a while for you to actually know, who am I, what was God creating me about, like to catch on to what your spirit already knows about yourself, what God called you. Remember when God was talking to Jeremiah, he said, before you were formed in your mom's womb, like I knew you, you are a prophet. So there is a conversation that you've had with God before you were conceived. It's probably long before your parents ever met. And God was like, you know what? You, my dear, are a prophet, or you are a priest, or whatever. You are a king. I don't know, an artist. Whatever you are it. But then when I send you there, you're going to sort of lose your memory, and then you have to start relearning things and getting to know. Think about it as how people how people have to relearn things, like after an accident. So if you've had a traumatic brain injury, for example, and you go to hospital and you're discharged, typically you have to relearn so many things, like how to walk, how to eat, how to speak. It's not that you didn't know how to do these things, it's that now you have to relearn. It's like now you have a new body and you have to figure out how to work with it. Yeah. And as I was having this conversation, that is when now God was asking me, now that you understand that much, let me ask you another good question. What have you been up to? I am not asking body joy, I am asking spirit joy. What have you been up to? So your body has been up to so much because it has been in charge the whole time, because you took too long to learn about yourself. You've learned to speak. Some of you even speak like 5 languages, as in your body has really, really been in charge. You came on earth, you nailed it, you got a whole degree, then you got your master's, you're probably now pursuing your PhD, you're upscaling the ladder in the corporate sector. Your body self is doing amazing things here on earth. But what about the spirit you? What have you been up to? Now, again, I'll also reference to movies because I really love a good watch. And I was watching this thing, and I'm not saying it was all the way good, but it will make sense, I promise. So I was watching this movie, and apparently in the movie they are they are purporting that ghosts are real. Now, I am neither here to confirm or deny that claim. So you see, there is a body and there's a ghost. Separately, they are existing and they are functional. So the ghost has a life of its own, and this body, of course, has someone else in, like the person is existing, so they are continuing with life as usual. But now when the ghost comes and possesses the person becomes a whole new personality. And the reason they become a whole personality is because this ghost makes sure to fulfill only its agenda, not the agenda of the person in the body. Do you see what I mean? As in, if you bring it back to the concept I'm talking about, it's like the spirit now is taking over the body. And so you get to fulfill the agendas of the spirit, not the agendas of the flesh. Yeah. I feel like today I am going deep as a teacher and stuff like that, but I'm not about all that business. I'm just trying to break it down to you how I was having it in my head. So the thing is, here on earth, I have been functioning as joy, like in my body. I have known to read, I have known my creative sides, I have made friends. But then the question is, what about your spirit? What has your spirit been up to? Have you been sleeping this whole time? Because the reality is, your spirit has done nothing. Your spirit is the oldest part of you, like it existed before you got into a body. So say your body is 20, you've been alive for 20 years. That is how long your body has been alive. And in those 20 years, if you look back, there are memories and stories and footprints of your body. But then what about your spirit? It has existed before your body. So let's not count the before. What has your spirit been up to for those 20 years? Do you see what I mean? It's fine. Let's say you have no memory altogether of when I created you and what that looks like. Let's not go from there. Assuming you're 20 years old. In those 20 years old, if you were to ask anyone, who is Joy? What has she been up to? What has she been doing? Everyone has something to say, because joy has been existing and joy has been doing things on earth. But the question is, what about my spirit? Who is me now? because my spirit is literally who I am. The body is just where I am in. So if my body has been working and has been leaving footprints everywhere, what has my spirit been up to? What have I done in the spirit? What agendas have I fulfilled in the spirit? Because one way or another, if you have to live life optimally, then it means you fulfilled the tasks of the spirit. Now, this is one of those videos that will not make sense to non-Christians. Apologies, but this may not be your segment. This is a sin segment for the very Christian people, the people who are looking to grow and become different people. What have you really been up to? What have you been doing? Because the person that is going to go to heaven or to hell, that person is your spirit. These bodies are not going to make it there. So literally it is to say, if you existed for 30 years and then you died at age 30, your body is just left here, because whatever is of the ground goes back to the ground, and whatever is of the spirit goes back to the spirit, which is God. So you realize that you will leave this body here. That's the thing. And I think that's what God talks about when he says that time you all will give an account. He will be like, well, now spirit, we've gathered, tell us, what have you been up to? And you're like, well, I mean, the body did this, the body also did this. Me as the spirit, there was that one time that I encouraged. There was that one time. Yes, there was one time I prayed over someone. That one time. And God is like, yo, is it really productive to have lived life and not walked in purpose? And that's actually the essence of purpose. Anyone that has been asking, oh, how do I find my purpose? All that is hidden in actually reconnecting your spirit to the spirit and leave the body to the earthly things. You just reconnect to the spirit of God, because the reality is the one that created you is the one that told you who you are, is the one that gave you purpose and desires and meaning. But when you came here, you just decided, let's sleep. Let's just sleep. Let's fall asleep. But then how long will you be asleep? Some people have actually died never having woken up. It is so sad. And I think that's the essence of what Miles Monroe was saying. I think it was Miles Monroe, the one that died. God rest his soul. But I think it was him that was saying that the richest place on earth is the cemetery, because there are books that were supposed to be written that are still there, and songs that should have been sung that are there. And I get it now. It's not to say that these people did not live life. Maybe some were really, really nice people. Those very nice people, you're like, I wish you loved Jesus. This would have been so beautiful for the kingdom of God. But then you're just a nice person. But then the problem is they died without awakening the spirit. And then now you're dead, and God is like, yo, you were supposed to go there, be an author. You were supposed to go there, sing songs, open system, create new institutions, change the curriculum, I don't know, be a change agent, be an advocacy person. And then you went there and you slept the whole time. And God is like, why did you come back? Why did you come back having done nothing? The entire point of me creating you was for you to go be fruitful and fill the earth. Being fruitful does not always necessarily translate to having children. That's just one aspect of it. Another aspect of being fruitful and multiplying is actually being in purpose, working so much in purpose that everything that God put in the inside of you, it actually comes to fruition. So if you are called to be a prophet, you are literally operating as a prophet. If you are called to be an artist, the prettiest arts in the world are from you. But then there are most of us, especially Christians. Let's just not hide. I've just said this again. This video is not for those who are non-believers. They are on a completely different path, and it's okay, because even Jesus himself said, y'all that don't believe, you can't believe because you're not my people and stuff. And so I'm not talking to non-believers today. I am talking specifically to the Christians. It is so unfortunate that we have so many Christians in the church. They go to church every Sunday, even if they are the best tithers and givers, and they're not led to church, and they love Jesus, they love people, they try to do the basic, the groundwork, they've nailed it. But God is like, when will your spirit awaken? When will you now begin to function as who you are supposed to be? When will I get to actually speak to you as a friend, like as a man speaks to his friend? Those things for Moses and God were speaking face to face. Those experiences, when will that be your experience? When will your spirit begin to move on earth? because your body has been active, we know, but what has your spirit been doing this whole time? And I don't know about you, but to me it was such a challenge, because I realized that in the few years that I've existed, very few years that I've been existing here on earth, my body has had more of an impact than my spirit, and it's such a shame. And so it has become my sole agenda to make sure that my spirit overworks here on earth. As in, I will do the things I will walk in purpose until I look like until purpose is written on my face. That is the resolution I came to, because I'm like, there's just no way I am older, but then my body is outdoing me. There is no way. There is no way I'm going to be remembered as the girl who had this hoarse voice. I refuse to be remembered by mediocre things. You know how people describe you and they're like Jonte wa maziwa, or I don't know, Njeri wa makaa. Like, they identify you with the things your body has been doing. They really have nothing more to identify you by. Like, they have given you labels that are synonymous to the impact you've had, and your impact has been your body. But when will they start calling you based off what your spirit has done? Oh, let me talk to Joy the Giver. Ooh, that is gonna be me, let me tell you. Let's talk to Joy the Encourager. You see, even in the New Testament, actually the apostles, there was these people that were called sons of encouragement. Literally, that is what they were called. They were called sons of encouragement because they were known to walk in that line. Their role was typically to just encourage people. You see, think even about Judas Iscariot. Iscariot, yes. Think about Judas Iscariot. Like, when the Bible is talking about him, they were like Judas, the one that betrayed Jesus. And I'm like, yo, I am Iscariot. Like, there were two Judases. I get that. But I have a second name that's different from that Judas. You can just say Joy Lokaremi. You don't have to say Joy, the one that betrayed Jesus. Because think about it again. When they were describing Peter, they were not saying Peter that denied Jesus. No, that was Peter in flesh, Peter in the body, that is, he betrayed Jesus and all that. But then when Peter actually pulled his, got his things together, he now is identified as Peter the apostle. Peter, the one that walked with God. Actually, people, they started saying, hey, you guys, it's as if you've been walking with Jesus. Because now the Spirit was taking over. Now the Peter himself, the one that God created, was now beginning to take action. But then Judas, he died just being the Judas guy, the one that betrayed Jesus. I'd hate for that to be my story, Like, I know I have my high moments. Like, I love to show people a good time. I am good company. Let me hype myself a bit. And although those are things I pride myself in, I'd hate to die and then they're like, oh, you don't remember Joy? The one that was really good company. No, that is not what I want to be remembered of me. Let it be said differently of me, that I'll be normal and people will like, oh, and the way she used to help people. Remember, even when Dorcas, the one that's called Tabitha in the Bible, when she died, what did people remember her for? The widows, they came, they gathered, they're like, you all have to do something. So she had a heart for the widows. And by the time she was dying, people remembered her like that. So let me ask you, what have you been up to? Not the body you. I am asking you. Have you met yourself yet? First of all, I hope you have. I hope you get to face to face with yourself and realize you are spirit in a body. And if you are spirit in a body, what has your spirit been up to? Or maybe you allowed demons to take over you. Oof, scary and stuff. But you allowed demons to take over. And now the agenda of the one that has been with you is what you have been pushing. Yes, that is exactly how it happens. When the devil takes over your body, it is no longer your agenda that will matter. You will be pursuing his agenda. So what will your spirit be doing the whole time? It means you have still not stepped into the thing you're supposed to do. So yes, go back to your safe space with God and be like, you know what, God? At least this is what I did. I was like, you know what, God? I'm not very proud of how my spirit has been doing. I mean, I have pulled up my socks, but they need to be pulled a bit higher. Like, I need to do a bit more in my spirit than I have in my body. And it's okay. I love it when, you see, like when the Bible talks about Enoch, Enoch was the guy that walked with God until he was no more. I feel like his spirit had just caught on into the vibe of walking in purpose, that his body just had to catch up, and it got to a place where it was, you know what, I give up. I can no longer I can no longer put up with the whole spirit Enoch. So let me just surrender to this whole thing. So yeah, may that be your story. At least this is what I hope for myself, that as a Christian, this is a different level of sin in my mind. It's a level where I am hoping that you will know that God is seeing you lazy around in your spirit. God is watching you lazy around in your spirit. He's like, my baby, I created you for so much. My darling, you can do so much. You are a prophet unto nations. Don't just say you are a young man. I have brought you through so much in life because I needed to preserve you, because you have a lot to do. But see your life now. See your life. You've been here. You have been just giving your body access to whatever and whichever thing that you can find. Some of you are hiding small secrets, but it's because your body is the one that has been in charge, and you can't tell your body to stop something that it's been doing for so long until you start now strengthening yourself. You that is spirit, start strengthening yourself and taking over. Do not let your body take over you. And I think it's pretty basic in the Bible, because again, when in the creation time when God was commissioning Adam and Eve, he said, like, I have given you dominion over earth and everything in it. So literally, if this body is from us, it means you've been given dominion even over your own body. I can be like, you know what? You body, you are not the joy. Joy is me, and I get to have a say about how my life runs. This thing for life ni yangu sipangwingwi, it should mean like that for your spirit. Be like, enyewe, spirit joy, mimi as joy, life ni yangu, my body haitanipanga. I refuse to be arranged by my own body. I refuse to be controlled. I refuse for my body to dictate terms. Now I am going to function and operate fully as spirit. So the next time you meet me, I hope not too soon, I'm still working on that, but the next time you see me, just understand that this is not just my body you are meeting. No. And those people who are close to me, you've probably met my spirit several times, and maybe y'all on YouTube have met my spirit more than you have met my body. But then I admit that there are moments that it's only my body that has been showing up. Those are the places I am saying no. I am no longer going to allow my body to represent me in places I've not been. As I was thinking about this whole concept, I was thinking about how you buy this new outfit and it's just amazing, but you can't wait to go out and actually be in a function or be with your friends, go out and just take pictures so that the outfit can actually be officially worn, like after you've taken pictures and everyone has seen it and all that. And I was just thinking about it, and I'm like, if you show up in this amazing outfit and you walk into a room, as you walk into this room and everyone is staring at you, there's probably something to do with the dress, because it's grabbing attention and everyone is like, oh, that pretty dress. But then they don't talk to the dress. When they come to meet you, they don't be like, oh, hi dress, how are you, how have you been doing? No, they get to meet you. The dress is amazing, but it only packages you so that you can actually be functional in those spaces. Am I making sense? I know I am. So y'all better be understanding, because I'm doing my best. I'm projecting my voice and I'm out here breaking down a concept that I feel like it's a bit too all over the place, but bear with me. So when you're dressed up and you look nice and you walk into a room and everyone is turning their eyes to look at you, probably it is the clothes they are looking at. But eventually, because of the clothes, they'll now come and approach you and you can now have a conversation. They will not keep having a conversation about your clothes. It would actually be quite obnoxious if someone came to you and they're like, oh, you're so pretty. I actually love your dress. Where did you get your dress? Can you give me your dress? Oh, I want this dress. Oh, this dress is a beautiful color. Do they have another pair? Can you give me the number? It would be so annoying to have someone be obsessed about your dress. As much as you've looked the part and you feel confident, you would hope that people would be interested in you and what you have to say and offer. Yeah. And it's the same way. Your body is like this outfit. It gives you it gives you the opportunity to be in rooms and for people to turn their eyes. I hope they're not turning because your body smells. Like, I hope it smells so good and people are just turning because they're like, ooh, who's that just walked in, and the whole atmosphere changed, you know? Someone walked in. Oh, I noticed how well polished she is and how her hair is well done. Or I noticed how his suit is well ironed. Oh, I love his shoes. Oh, he smells so nice. Oh, he actually brushed his teeth. All these, I love the haircut. Ooh, you know, all these are superficial things, but they matter. That is why God gave us a body. They matter. It matters. I cannot just be meeting your spirit and just being like, hi, spirit. Let's have that's like a ghost kind of situation. And those are things that I said I am neither here to confirm or deny. In that light, I am asking a question. What have you been up to? For real, your dress, your body has been showing up in spaces and you've been looking the part. But what have you really been up to? You know, think a little bit. Just go ask God some few questions. Are you a sufuria or are you a plate? Like, when I talked about it's nice to meet you, I really hope you guys understood the concept of you have to come face to face to who you really are, who God says you are. There are things about you that are uniquely placed like that so that you are able to present yourself a certain way. Actually, when I was thinking about that, God was like, I do not make mistakes. There's a reason I create some people extroverted and others introverted. It's all intentional, because in the way that I expect their spirits to function on earth, their bodies need to present in that way. For example, if God knows He is sending you out here on earth to actually be vocal about the word of God, or even be vocal about people's rights, then He needs to give you a personality that can speak up. So part of your body and soul and all that exterior features, they will look like that. They will support you having confidence, being able to do public speaking, or being bold and being audacious and saying hi to people, walking in rooms, and your shoulders are up high and you are excited to meet people and all that. All that is a persona that God has created so that your spirit can now have um, a worthwhile outlet. God created a personality and a persona for your body so that it will present you in certain areas in a way that people will stare at you and actually strike a conversation, and then your spirit would be impactful in those places. I hope this really gets to your minds the way I hope it does. I really hope you get the point, and I hope that you will allow your spirit to start doing the work. You'll suppress the desires of the flesh and now begin to act as the spirit that you are. Start praying for people. Actually, this thing for being Christians and we are hiding, I should probably do a video about that, because I've also been thinking about that a lot. You know, this, everyone else is bold about who they are and what they stand for, but when you're Christian, it's like you're struggling to tell people I'll pray for you. You're struggling to tell people I am not available because I am doing church, or I am not doing this because I'm here. You're struggling to share all these things, yet everyone else is bold about what they're saying. Anyway, we'll just have that conversation a whole different time. But as for now, I hope this video challenges you to want to catch up and actually be up to something good. Don't just sit and allow your body to just be dictating your life. Hii life ni yako. You should not be arranged. Do not be arranged by your own body. You know, let's riot, let's put up a fight and decide, me, my body will not tell me who I am. Remember, like God, when God was talking to Gideon, He was like, you mighty man of valor, and Gideon is like, wait, who, me? Cannot be me. But God was speaking to spirit Gideon, not the body. The body is weak, the body knows nothing and all that, but to the person that I created, he is rightfully prepared for this. And the same was to Moses. Moses was like, I'm a stammerer, I don't know how to do this. God was like, what do you mean you are a stammerer? Do you really not understand that you, Moses, the one I created, you are a deliverer? Stammering has nothing to do. That is just a body. Stop overcompensating, over excusing, over explaining yourself because of the shortcomings of your body. That is just a vessel. Anyway, so that this does not take forever, let me just end it there. I hope it passes the point home, and I hope you feel seen so much that you are exposed, that it's not just that one for, oh, God sees me in my weakness, he encourages me. No, 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 no. God also sees you when you're choosing to be in ignorant of the things that you need to do better. So I hope you feel seen and exposed by God because of this video. You're so exposed that you decide, imagine, I refuse to allow my body to be up to no good. So yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for staying this far into the video. I hope if you have questions, you can ask. Maybe I can be a bit clearer on that, but I know I have really given it my best. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here and showing up. I hope you continue to enjoy your year. Personally, I feel like I've already conquered a few things. I am yet to do so much, but I already feel like God has done amazing things, and I thank you so much for being part of my journey. Thank you for engaging with conversations in my head. So see you. Thank you. Bye.